What's up? What's up? We are live. All right, what's up, everybody? Today we are going to start a full body workout. We're going to start with our foam rolling, but I want to show you some different ways that you can use a foam roller or self-mount fascial release device. So I'm going to give you some small examples, and then I'm just going to go over my typical routine. So if you want to spend more time on certain body parts, or if you have extra time to warm up, I definitely encourage you to just take your time through a 10-minute, 5-10-minute. If you need 15 or 20 minutes to really press into some areas a little bit longer, then take your time. If you don't have the time, don't waste your time. So even if it's just 5 minutes of one body part at minimum, okay? Otherwise, I try to go through a full body routine, and then I try to focus on some areas at the same time. So making sure I'm always hitting my whole body every day. So I can start with a lacrosse ball on the bottom of the foot. Okay, I can also do it with a softball, or what we call an orbit ball, I believe, ORB. Okay, it's like a self-myofascial release device. And we also have the Theracane. Okay, so this is really more toward, so for your rhomboids around your scap, into your trap muscles, okay, and your lats. You can also do this seated and use these little pivot points here for the psoas. Okay, you can target glutes, other areas. So just want to give you some different tools that you can think about using to get different areas of the body. I use these from time to time, but not every single day. Okay, so I will use the lacrosse ball on my shoulder, probably once a week at least. I will lacrosse ball on my feet at least once a week, and I will occasionally use the Theracane. Don't use that much. Okay, so don't waste your time if you don't need it. There's two different types of foam rollers you can use. You have the high density foam roller and the low density foam roller. So for someone that's just a newbie beginning foam rolling, definitely want to get a long one. Otherwise, you'll probably fall off the shorter ones. Probably need to be a little bit more advanced to use those, but the longer, softer ones are good for just gradually getting into foam rolling and just sensing the tissue. A good reason why we foam roll, number one reason, is because it typically makes you feel a lot better after you've done that, which makes you more comfortable in your movements, your movement preparation, and then also your strength and other exercises. Okay, you're not going to gain full range of motion immediately after using it, but it'll definitely help you sense the muscles a little bit better, assess the quality of the tissue, whether it's tense or not tense, whether it has what we say are knots, but not really knots, some people call it aberrant tissue, or just tissue that's just, kind of pushing back. There's just many different ways people claiming to know what that stuff is, but we do know that you feel better after foam rolling, and it is a good assessment measure, in my opinion. So the longer foam roller is usually better to start. The higher density foam roller, the shorter one, is probably good for someone that's more advanced. When I start with the foam roller, I always start with the ankles, the Achilles, and just kind of work my way up the back of the body, starting at the lower end, distal end here, foot and the ankle and the Achilles. You can go right along the Achilles, go side to side, and go up as you do that while I'm sliding my bottom and leg on the floor. And then I can also go up and down here. Okay, I can position my foot, my opposite leg, wherever feels the most comfortable. And then I can add more weight and pressure on the foam roller if I lift my bottom off the ground. Okay, now same thing if I'm using the high density. I would go side to side, go all the way at the bottom, work my way up the tendon, which turns into your soleus and your gastroc or your calf muscle. And you can even feel it behind the knee and up into the back of the thigh. But mainly working the lower limb to start and ankle. And again, just focusing on inhaling through the nose. And you can exhale through the nose or the mouth here. It really doesn't matter as long as you're breathing here. Sometimes if you find an area of tension, you just want to hold that area, breathe into that area. Okay, so that would be the calves. Then we go up to the lower back. You can get the hamstrings, but we're not going to do that today. I have other videos where I show you how to get the hamstrings. Now, first I want to perform just a bridge on the roller. And from here, I'm just going to rock side to side. So I'm pressing into one side of my lower back and then the other side. The reason why I do that is because I don't want to be directly on the spinal cord itself. I want to bias either side of the lower back, so I'm avoiding the actual spinal cord. And I can add a little bit more pressure by placing 1 foot underneath the knee and then switching and taking about 2 to 3 inhales in this position while I feel the pressure in my lower back, kind of push into my lower back. Now again, if there's any pain here, obviously you don't want to continue this, or you don't want to do this if there's any pain. Moving to the upper back, I'm going to transition to the advanced roller. I'm going to move to the mid back to start. Place my feet into the ground, knees are bent, hands across the chest, and then from here, I'm just going to articulate the back around the roller and then sit back up to my starting position. Articulate around the roller and then back. Find another area. You can do the same thing up and down the back. After a couple of those, I'm going to bring my elbows together so that my scapulas move away from each other toward the outside and gives me some space to work those rhomboids right there in the middle. And then I may go a little bit lower, but you need a pretty sturdy and strong back to just kind of roll on that lower back, so I don't really typically do that. From here, draping the arm across the roller, I'm going to just press my chest into the roller and relax and breathe. And then move down just a little, so I feel it just on the upper ribs. But don't relax too much to where you just, if you've never done this before, you can actually hurt yourself by pressing too hard into the ribs. So that's why you want to start with the lower density foam roller before the higher density foam roller. From here, I'm going to hook my hands together and then roll the back part of that deltoid and into the lat, into the armpit. And I'm pressing into my rotator cuff muscles a little bit, as well as teres major and minor, which are right next to each other. One's a rotator cuff muscle, and one is helps with retraction of the scapula. Also, probably supports with pulling down, so vertical pulls, but mainly horizontal rows. You're going to feel that muscle along the ribs as well. Just be careful. Lightly press into the ribs because they're going to be a little bit more sensitive. You don't have to work too much there. This is not a ribs video. You definitely want to have some mobility in those ribs and scapula. All these bones move. All bones move, or they eventually move. So here again, this is a more tender area on my body. So I would spend a little bit more time here. just I always like, if I bring this left arm behind the back and up the back, it's not as easy or pleasant feeling as the right side. And also when I roll this side, it tends to be a little bit different and tighter. So there's definitely some work to be done here. That's when I might do some more different types of stretches while I'm here. Just try to open up the capsule. As I'm pressing into and stimulating those muscles there. And you should feel better almost immediately. Or what happens is you press into the same spot and you can't find it anymore, which means that obviously you did something. Now, it's not going to last forever, but over time and consistently, these types of things are going to add up, just like deposits. Just like strength training, you don't necessarily going to see results by doing anything once. All right, now moving to my inner thighs and upper thighs here. Starting with the adductors. There's a sweet spot. I'll hold it. Breathe. Turn the toe down. Press into the upper quad. Hold. Mid quad. Toe down. And open it back up. So pressing into the vastus. The vasti. Or the quad group here. And the adductors. Other side. Toe down. Inner thigh right to the knee. And you can also press into the thigh on the inside and upper side. And just focusing on the breathing. I'm going for quads and TFL. So I'm going to go up to the pocket, find that sponge size muscle, hold there, rock twice or 5 times on that area until you can find it up and down or side to side. Once you find it, hold, relax. You can bend and straighten that knee. Okay, and then quad. Yikes. Now, something super tight, it might not need that much strength work. Something super loose, the opposite, right? So if you don't feel nothing, it's a good time to train it. That's kind of why we do this. It's like, oh, okay, my quads are fried. That means I need to do my hamstrings and glutes. Or my lats kill. So I'm going to do more push. Or your chest hurts, so you can do more pull. You have to be able to switch it up when you need to. You have to be flexible in your training program. it's done. Let's check out the time. So that was 15 minutes, not too bad. So about 5 minutes over, all right? You don't want to do more than 20 minutes, especially if you're doing a 60-minute workout. That would be like ridiculous. You want to do about 5 to 10 minutes, but we did about 15 minutes because obviously it's an instructional video. It takes a little bit more time to explain things, yada, yada, yada. All right, so now we're gonna get into some stretching. You can have the same approach. Start with the lower body, work your way up, or you can go upper body, lower body, start with the neck, go to the toes, go from the toes, go to the head. That's up to you. You can do wall stretches only. You can do stretches with a wedge only. You could be doing some wall or box stretches. You can just do no modifications or no equipment. You can switch it up all the time. It's always good to use a mat. However, you're going to be less likely to hurt your knees or anything like that. All right, so let's get this back. All right, so first thing, we'll just start from toes and we'll work our way up to head. So we're starting with ankle. One thing you can do for ankle is the half kneeling, knees over toes stretch. And we're just bringing the knees over toes in the half kneeling position. And we're trying to keep that heel down. Now, if we wanted to regress this, we would just push into the wall or a box. This is going to be a definitely more advanced ankle mobility exercise. Typically, we're standing when we do this, or we are using a box or a wall in front of us. This is the half kneeling ankle mobility exercise. Bringing the knee over the toe, feeling a stretch in the back of the ankle, Achilles area, keeping that heel down as the knee goes over the toe. Again, you can regress this by bringing your hands on a wall or a box. Okay, then we're just going to get into the combat position, sitting on our back ankles in the plantar flexion position, bending at the knee, and then bringing our knee over the toe in our combat. Now, if you can't get into this position, you can do this standing with your foot on top of a box. We're just going to bring the knee over the toe, come back and forth here. And then we're just going to go in a circle. And then we're going to circle the other way. So let's get in both ankles here. And then switching side. Okay, if that heel wants to leave the ground and you want to do a couple of those too, that's fine. And then try to keep that heel down. And just create some circles here. Again, if you can't do it in this position, you can do it standing with your foot on top of a box. Okay, for the knee, I'm just going to get in the half sideline position. I'm going to reach for my back foot. I'm going to bring my knee next to the bottom knee. I'm just going to pull here. Might not feel anything. If it's tight, you're going out like that, this might not be a great stretch for you. You can regress this by doing this against the wall. And then I'm going to try to kick my foot out of my hand while I'm holding it, create a tension in my quad, just about a 50% tension, and then relax again, and relax. Then I'm going to let go and keep my knee bent as much as I can and squeeze my hamstrings and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. One more, and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll show you what that looks like on the other side. So basically I go like this, hold. Take about 15 seconds before you begin to try to kick out while you're holding to create that isometric contraction. About 50% effort, and then relax after about 5 seconds. And then repeat. Relax. And then squeeze the hamstring tight as you let go and hold. And relax. One more and hold. And relax. Okay. Next, we'll get into a butterfly position, and we're going to try to peel those knees down. So we're going to hold on to the feet and then try to push those knees to the ground. And we're trying to open up the hips. Big exhales. Inhale and exhale. Okay. From here, I'm going to hold onto my ankles. I'm going to press my elbows into my adductors or my inside thighs. And then I'm going to try to close the book. Okay. So I'm trying to close the book and then open the book with my elbows at the same time, creating an isometric contraction. Again, a 5-second hold for 50% intensity. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and relax. One more. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and relax. This time we're going to bring my hands together. When I do that, I'm going to try to actively bring my knees to the ground. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Relax. One more. Press down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and relax. Now from here, I'm going to open up the book and extend my knee just a little. And then I'm going to do that with the opposite leg. So getting in what we call a horse stance position. Then from here, I'm going to extend one leg. I can bring my hands behind if I'm starting to get uncomfortable to regress this. Otherwise, I'm going to bring my hands together. I'm going to extend one knee, nice and slowly, don't drop. And then the other knee into a straddle position. We're going to point those toes toward the ceiling here. This is where we might feel our TFLs, those sponge muscles on the front right side of the hip or left side of the hip. Right here, you're going to feel that once we internally rotate and externally rotate. So we're going to bring those toes toward the midline and our knees and our hips. You should feel your TFLs. And we're going to open up. Now you're going to feel your glute medius and max. Well, the medius are going to be turned down because we're abducted. So from here, we're going to go as wide as we can. And then I have an advantage because I can hook my feet into the ground. But from here, I'm going to just bring my hands forward, rock a couple times. And then from here, I'm going to just move to one side, rock a couple times. And then other side, rock a couple times. Bend both knees. Into this 90-90 position. Okay. I have my knee lined with my front heel and back heel, looking straight ahead, hinging forward. Breathe. Feel that in that front hip. Big exhales. Use some supports if you need to. You can challenge yourself by releasing the hands And then trying to come up to a straight spine. Rotate toward the back foot. Breathe into that. And from here, I'm going to transition from 90-90 from one side to the other side. So this is kind of a hip mobility challenge. I'm going to bring my hands together, or I can make it easier by bringing my hands behind me. From here, I'm going to open up the back hip, but keep that front heel peeled to the ground as long as I can until it just naturally comes off the ground. And then I'm going to rotate into 90-90 into the other direction. Hinge forward. Now I should feel it in my front hip here as I hinge. Breathe, I can reach here. I can play around with some rotation. I can peel that back leg into the ground, create that isometric tension, and relax. I can play around with those isometrics in these positions as well. From here, we're just gonna get into downward dog position, getting our upper body involved. So this is going to get, one, the calves, but your head and neck are gonna become free to kind of move around. You can also bring the head through the shoulders to get a shoulder activation and mobility stretch here. Okay, go to the hands and knees. Then we can rotate at the scaps. Just rolling those shoulders. And then knees are wide, toes touch. Arms are straight, thumbs are up. Bridge of the nose down. Then really reach up. And breathe into that. Rotate into one shoulder and the other. And then from here, I'm just going to reach my palms down, press down into the ground, and then relax. Press down, and then relax. And then find a comfortable position. We're going to press one arm down and reach the other arm off the ground. And then switch. And then we're going to go to the forearms. Widen the forearms here. We're going to press the elbows together. Round the upper back. Take a couple inhales and exhales here. Press those knees. And you can bring the hips off the ground a little bit here. Get a little bit more leverage with the knees and the elbows. And create a little tension in the core. And try to inhale into the upper back. Press the elbows and knees into the ground. And relax. From here, let's go ahead and get ready for some activation exercises. So if you need some water, grab some. So activation exercises after stretching are going to help correct any imbalances we may have. So we're going to start with shoulder slides. Feet are on the ground, knees are bent. W the arms. I'm going to exhale the arms overhead. Inhale down, and then exhale overhead. Inhale, ribs down. exhale, ribs down. From here, we'll do a leg lower. I'm going to bring my legs straight over my midline. Arms are down next to the side. Take a big exhale as I drop one leg slowly. And lift it back up. Slowly exhale on the way down. Exhale back up. Go 5 on each side. Top leg is fighting to stay up. Now we're going to perform some hip lifts with our toes in the air. Okay, and we're going to squeeze our glutes and hold elbows in line with the shoulders and knees. And then relax the arms down, hold. Keep those toes up, press those heels into the ground, squeeze at the glutes. Try not to extend your lower back. Inhale through the nose, long exhales here. Fill everything up. Long exhale. Keep the glutes engaged. And then slowly bring it down. From here, I'm going to lift one knee to the chest. Keep that bottom heel stuck in the ground. And then we're going to just use this glute here and hold. And then switch side. And come down. From here, I'm just going to bring my knees wide, hold on to the inside of the knees, just round those hips out, and then roll forward and back with our chin tucked. And from here, we'll go into a bear position, hands and knees. We're just going to lift the knees off the ground an inch and hold with our back rounded at the scaps. Hold. Big exhale. Inhale through the nose. Long exhale. Then we're going to get into the push-up position. Extend those knees. Back is rounded. Don't let the hips sag. Hold and breathe here. Now we're going to widen the feet and perform a shoulder tap. We're going to hold and tap. 3 exhales and then switch. There, try not to rotate at the hips like this. Okay, so that's a little activation with upper and lower body. Let's go ahead and put some shoes on and get into some training. I'm going to perform some dynamic movements, some plyos. And then some explosive exercises. Then we're going to get into some strength pods, which will be set up with 3 exercises in each pod. Each pod will have a lower, upper, and core exercise. And then we'll perform our conditioning, which I probably will not film, but I'll let you know what we're going to do. is where I'm gonna start adding some music. Put the air on. Whew. All right, start with some dynamic stretching here. So for plyometrics, we're going to do some lateral, medial, and linear hopping, and then maybe some explosive kettle swings or an Olympic snatch. Okay. Starting with linear, we're going 5 hops each, 15 each side. Soft landing. Step off. Now we're going immediately or toward the opposite foot. These you don't have to do more than 3. And now we're going laterally or away from the opposite foot. Probably should have done just 3. 5 is definitely overkill. So this would be more of a phase 3 plyometric progression. So I would just maybe do 3 reps each at most. But I gotta even it out. We'll tie that to the upper body. Push off, push up. Little plyometric push up here. 6 inches is probably all that's needed. About 5 reps. Now for upper body, overhead, do add a little bit of a snatch here. Definitely a warm-up set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Woo. All right, now we're moving to strength. We're running out of time. It's gonna be knee dominant unilateral, core anti-lateral, and a horizontal pull. See if we can get through that.
Ooh.
All right, that's it. So now you do your conditioning on the bike or treadmill. Intervals, 15 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Do that 4 to 8 times. That was easy. Repeat a couple more times. Or you go for a 30-minute walk or a 20-minute uphill. See ya.